Salaam Alaykum. Okay,
Walaikum assalam.
great, great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. Can you hear us?
I can hear and see all your beautiful smiling faces. Okay,
Thank you.
that's wonderful. Okay, so we have a choice on how we're going to do this. All of you actually can either stay for both classes because I'm not going to be teaching above anybody's head,
Okay.
or we can do the children first for their hour and then have you come back for your hour.
Yeah, I think the second option is better.
Okay, great, great. But feel free to listen in if you choose to.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure. All
The
right.
other thing is that this will be recorded. I normally place these recordings on YouTube, as you probably know,
Yeah,
and it gives further inspiration to other children and other parents to bring their children into an understanding of this study called
sure,
NuNetics.
sure,
Okay.
sure. All
All
right.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. This is wonderful. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, we're going to get you nice and centered and get as close to the, yeah, there you go. That's nice. That's right there in the middle. That's great. Okay, so I want you to give me your names. I want you to spell your names, and then I want you to tell me how old you are, beginning with the youngest of you two.
Okay. Okay. My name is Furqan Khan, and my first name is Furqan, second Khan, and I'm 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Furqan.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
kind of, mostly.
Am I pronouncing it correctly? Furqan?
Yeah,
Furqan?
yeah,
Boy, that's a great name. That's a great name. Okay, let me get your brother. And how old did you say you were?
8.
8.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we're gonna have some fun with you. 8. I have another 8-year-old student also, and he's having the time of his life. He's loving learning this. So you're gonna join him, okay?
Okay.
All right. And your name?
My name is Rayaan, Rayaan, and last name Khan, Khan.
Great.
And I'm 10 years old.
10 years old. Okay. So we have an 8-year-old, we have a 10-year-old, and both of you have very beautiful names.
Thank you.
You've heard of a ray of sunshine, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. See, they got that from your name, Rayaan. See, when the light is on, they call it on, right?
Yeah.
So if the ray coming from the sunlight in the daytime is on, then the ray is on. That's your name, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of messing around with it because I like that name. I like both of your names. I love both of your names. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
even your last name, Khan, has a very, very important meaning and special meaning. But we'll talk about that in some of the classes that will come up, okay, in the future.
Okay.
Okay, you comfortable? You need a little glass of water or something?
No. No. We just.
You're ready to learn. Do you have something to write on?
Yeah. A pencil and paper. Yeah.
Very good. You look like you might be a lefty. Do you write with your left hand?
No, I'm already.
No, I'm talking about for the con.
Okay.
Do you write with your left hand?
Yeah.
Hold your left hand up. You write with that hand?
Yeah.
Guess what? So do I. I write with my left hand. Okay. All right. And Rayaan, you write with your right hand. That's fine. As long as you're able to write and understand what it is you're writing, that's fine. All right. So I am instructor Benjamin Bilal. You can call me Brother Bilal, or you can call me instructor, or you can call me teacher. Doesn't matter. Okay. Hmm. You can call me Ustad if you want. I mean, whatever you call a teacher, you can call me that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Let's get going here. I'm going to pull up some notes so you can see them on your screen. And I'll be giving you some beginning kinds of notes on what I'm teaching. Okay.
Okay.
Have you heard of the word NuNetics?
No. No.
I'm glad you have not. gives me a chance to really just tell you everything about it, okay?
Okay.
So NuNetics is a new word that I invented.
Okay. Okay.
Did you know that you can invent words for things that you do or things that you invent even? You can invent new words are being created every day.
Our mama did some.
Did she?
Yeah.
All right. So you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
All right. So I invented the word called NuNetics. I'm going to bring it up on the screen so you'll see exactly how I spell it. And then we'll get to teaching right after that. Hold on. Okay. Make sure I have this right here. Okay, let me just make sure I have the right. Here we go. Okay. So I'm going to call you both the Khan children. Is that okay?
Okay.
The Khan. I like that. The Khan children. It sounds like you should have your own movie. The Khan children. What are they up to today in today's episode, right? All right. So today is March 10th, 2023. And this is your NuNetics lesson number 1. So you see how NuNetics is spelled here?
Yeah.
Can somebody spell that out for me?
NuNetics.
Very good. So you might be wondering why there are 2 capital letters in this word. Were you thinking about that?
Yeah.
Let me tell you why. It's because N-U-N, and you pronounce that noon. Can you say that?
Noon.
Okay. Just like when the sun comes out and it goes straight up above your heads. What do they call that position?
Afternoon, but short noon. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's noon first.
Yeah.
And then when it moves a little bit from that position, then it becomes afternoon. See? Noon, afternoon. And afternoon will last all of the way until sunset and evening. Okay. But noon is when the full light and the power of the sun is right above you. Now, that's important to understand. And that's the English word noon. But the Arabic word noon has a connection to that idea also, the power of the sun, S-U-N. So whenever you think about NuNetics, I want you to think about the power of the sun. Can you explain that back to me? When you think about NuNetics, what do I want you to think about?
About the noon and like afternoon. Yeah.
Okay. I want you to think about what the sun does, S-U-N. So beginning with Furqan, I'm going to ask you first, what does the sun do?
The sun makes the world all bright.
Right. Very good. Okay, let me write down some of these words. The sun makes the world bright. What else does the sun do? Any one of you can answer.
The sun moves.
Ah, the sun. What happens when the sun moves?
It becomes the time changes.
Oh, wait a minute now. Oh boy, you guys are smarter than I thought. Wait, hold on a second. The sun makes everything bright. Hold on, let me put this on a separate line now. You guys have jumped way ahead of me.
And my brother teach me a little bit of times.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second now. All right, the sun moves and it changes the time, we'll say of day or night.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Mhm.
is spelled wrong.
I know because I'm typing fast. So every time you see me make a mistake, you jump in. Okay? You let
Okay.
me know. Okay. So what else does the sun do?
The sun it could sometimes like make the moon
It makes the moon do what?
to make a night.
Okay. When the sun goes down, then the moon comes out and the moon becomes the bright light for that part of the day, right? For nighttime. Okay.
Okay.
But let me ask you this question. Do you know where the moon gets its light?
No,
Ah,
I don't know. Sun?
yes. The moon doesn't have any light of its own. It's borrowing its light. It's reflecting the light from the sun. Even though the sun is not, you don't even see the sun there, but the moon is actually pulling the light and reflecting the light. Just like a mirror, when you look in the mirror, that's your reflection, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just like the mirror is reflecting your picture, the moon is reflecting the light of the sun. And if the sun were to disappear, there would be no more moonlight. You wouldn't be able to see it at all. If the sun disappears, that's it. There's no more moonlight.
Also, if you put the sun in the mirror, then it goes back to the sun.
Yeah, because it'll be going in the other direction, right?
Yeah. I have
Right.
a question. When it's
Sure.
nighttime, does the moon get dark or it still reflects?
That's a good question. The moon is always reflecting the light of the sun, but we can't always see it. Sometimes you can look up in the daytime. I don't know if you've ever seen this. In the daytime, you can see the moon sometimes. You ever see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, when the sun is out and it's bright, light everywhere, and you look up and you say, what is that thing in the well? Oh, that's the moon. So yes, you can still see it, but it's not every night that Allah allows that to happen, just sometimes.
But how does it happen?
Because it's always reflecting the light of the sun. It never stops. What stops is your ability to see it because you are constantly moving. And the sun is, you see, we are moving. So we're moving in the light of the sun into it, and then we're moving out of the light. Like for instance, it's still some daylight where you are, right? If you look out the window, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but other parts of the world, it's completely dark. It's like midnight, 3 o'clock in the morning
Like,
on the other part of the planet,
yeah.
right? So sometimes it's dark where you are, but it's light where other people are on the part of the planet. And then where you are, sometimes it's light, and then on the other side of the planet, it's completely dark because the planet is turning in and out of the sunlight. It's in the light of the sun, then it leaves the light of the sun and it becomes night. It comes back into the light of the sun, it becomes day, and then it leaves the light of the sun and it becomes night. But the moon itself is always reflecting the light, but you can't always see it because the daylight is like it's like a veil. See,
What's a veil?
a veil is something that covers over something else so you can't completely see it.
Okay.
You ever see some women when they get married at their wedding, the bride is wearing a veil over her face?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can see just kind of some of her face, but you can't see, you wouldn't be able to, I say, oh,
Well,
that's Susan, because you wouldn't know unless you knew it was Susan already. You'd say, I can't completely see the face of that person because they're veiled. So the daylight veils the night. So you can't see the stars, you can't see other things that you normally see. You can't see the moon most of the time. So the daylight is not really what the sky looks like.
okay.
The real sky, how does the real sky look?
And I want to tell you something I know. So
Go, please.
the earth is tilted, so half of the world has light and the other side has dark.
That's correct. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But answer my question now.
Okay.
What does the real sky look like?
It has blue. The
I
sky.
want you to think real hard. Think real hard about that question now. Now, it's going to be these two choices. Either the real sky looks blue and lit up with the sun, or the real sky looks black or dark with a bunch of little lights in it that they call stars and planets. What does the real sky look like?
Planets. Because
Yeah,
planets.
yeah. That's interesting, isn't it? That
Yeah.
when the sun comes up, The reason why the sky looks blue is because all of that light is out there and it's bouncing off of other things that Allah created. And it's just giving you the appearance of blue. It's not really blue. When the astronauts go out there with their spaceships, you ever see astronauts go out into space with their rockets?
Yeah.
The higher they get, do you ever see the sky stay blue?
No. It
No.
goes a little darker and darker until it goes completely black. Yeah.
That's correct. So it'll get darker and darker the more they move out of the light of the sun. It's the sun that's making the sky blue because the sunlight is reflecting off of the atmosphere of Earth. You might not understand all of that right now. Don't worry about it. You might not understand all of that presently. Don't worry about that, okay? The point to remember is that when things are in the light of the sun, the sky is blue. When the planet moves out of the light of the sun, it becomes evening and then night, and it goes from being blue, sky blue, to being dark blue, to being purple blue, to being black. And then the real night is completely black, except for the little lights that Allah put out there called stars and planets. Even planets can look like lights in the sky, okay?
Okay. And
Well,
without the lights, you couldn't see that much.
Yeah, because it's like little blinks, right? Little
Yeah.
blinks of light. So who created all that like that? Who did that?
Allah.
Yes.
Yeah, Allah.
And do you know why he did that?
So you could see at night if you like go outside.
Yeah, so you can see a little bit. He got patterns in the stars. So when you come out and you see them in the same, lined up the same way, you say, I can find my way home now. Right? Because other than that, it's just dark out here. But Allah put little patterns and pictures in the stars so that you know if you keep walking this way, that way is towards where my village is. So all I have to do is keep following the stars and I'm going to be safe. You see how Allah did that? Isn't that merciful of Allah to do that?
Yeah. How can we tell if it's the correct way?
You can tell if it's the correct way because the stars show you the same picture over and over and over again. And if you begin to go the wrong way, you say, I'm not going to follow the stars. I'm just going to guess where my house is or my village or my hut. And you start walking the wrong way and you realize that you're in somebody else's village and they don't like you that much. And you start running out of that village back towards where you saw the stars pointing you to. Oh, okay, let me do it the way I did it last night. I made it home last night. I should make it home again tonight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so people from a long time ago, they used to follow the stars. That was their guide.
At that time,
Before they had maps and all of that, and they didn't have GPS like we have and all that. They didn't even have cars, right? So they had to walk or they had to ride on camels and horses and mules to get to where they were going. So they needed the stars to direct them to where they needed to go. When the sun was out, they could see, oh, there goes the mountain that's next to our hut. Let's just keep walking till we get to the mountain. But when it gets dark, can you see that mountain?
No.
So you have to depend on what?
The stars.
The stars. All right. So let's get into our lesson. We didn't get into NuNetics yet, okay?
Okay.
You guys are exciting. I like this. You got a lot of spirit and you're very smart. I like that. Now, the sun makes everything bright. We said that, right? It moves and it changes the time of day or night, which is what you just said.
Yeah.
And one other thing you didn't say about the sun is that it makes things, what is that? Warm. And sometimes even hot.
And
so during the day, when the sun is out, it can get very, very hot, especially in the summertime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll see sun, but sometimes it'll be cold.
Yeah. In the wintertime, the sun can be out, but you won't be hot.
Yeah.
Because the sun gets further away from the earth in the wintertime. So the light and the heat begins to, become weaker, sort of. But when the summertime comes and the sun is closer to the earth, man, oh man, it can get hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now let's get into our NuNetics lesson. I'm going to tell you more about what the word NuNetics means and what the word Nun means.
Okay. Okay.
Nun is actually one of the letters in Arabic, and you pronounce it just like you pronounce noon, like the sun is right above you. You pronounce it exactly the same way. But let's look at what it means. That word noon, and you don't have to put two capital letters. You can just put one, or you can put no capital letters. It doesn't matter. Okay? But it's still pronounced noon. Now, noon means seed. S-E-E-D.
So
So somebody have,
do we write noon means seed?
the letter noon means seed. You should write that, yes. And I also want you to write, and I'll put it here so you'll know that every Arabic letter
Has a meaning.
has a meaning. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So let me know when you finish writing that. That's a very important lesson in NuNetics, to know that every, not some, not most, every single letter in Arabic has its own meaning.
Our dad told us that, and he said the aleph means strong.
Yes. See, your dad has been learning NuNetics from YouTube. Now you're going to be learning NuNetics for yourself, and your dad's going to be learning it for himself. Okay? That's a beautiful thing. Yeah. That's a beautiful thing that he already knew that and he taught that to you. That's nice. I love that.
Yeah.
Bravo to your dad. All right. So tell me what noon means again, any one of you?
Noon means seed, or it's an Arabic letter.
Yes. Now there's a word next to seed. Can any of you pronounce that word?
Edenson.
Good try. Take it slow.
Can
you pronounce the smaller word that I underlined that's in that word? I-D-E-A?
Identify.
No, just look at the four letters in the beginning. I-D-E-A. Do you know what word that is?
Idea.
Yeah. So let me tell you a secret. You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
All big words are just small words put together. So never be afraid of a big word. Don't let it scare you, because all you got to do is take a big word and just break it down into smaller parts.
Okay. Like dinosaur.
Yeah. Any word. Alphabet. Alphabet. Doesn't matter what the word is, how big it is. It's a combination of smaller words. You're just putting smaller words together to make a bigger word, more fancy word. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Now, you see the seeds on the right. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what I want you guys to pay attention to mostly is how things in nature look, because these seeds are in nature, right?
Yeah.
Did any human being create these seeds?
No. No.
No.
Allah.
Who created these seeds?
Allah.
There you go. So Allah created these seeds to be a certain shape, and Allah created these seeds to have a certain kind of power. Everything that Allah created, he empowered it with something. Like it's a talent, like he put a talent inside that thing.
Just like
so what do you,
just like apples. Like they make you strong.
Yeah.
And that's
Apples,
and if
oranges,
you
foods with vitamins, right? They all make you strong. But there's something in the fruit, not just that makes you strong, but there's a power that Allah put in the apple. See, if I ate the apple and I throw away the seeds, right? You see how people eat an apple and they spit out the seed?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Always keep your seeds. Because what are you going to do with those seeds once you finish the apple and you don't have any more apples?
Then you could just regrow it,
How?
like in the ground,
What do you need?
water,
And what else?
sunlight,
And what else?
Space, like
Yeah,
space.
and what else? You're missing the very important part. I know you think, huh?
digging.
You're missing a very important part. You need the seeds. I know you thought that I already knew that, so you didn't bother to say seed, right? But if you want some more apples, you gotta make sure you save the seeds, right?
So
Yeah.
all the seeds you got from the apple, you put it in one place, like one in each, or just all in one?
It depends on what you're growing. You know, if you want things to be spread out like a bunch of apple trees, then you have to plant them in different parts of the soil. If you want something like cabbage or something that you want to grow close to each other, then you would plant the seeds, you know, pretty much close to each other. So it depends on what the farmer wants to do. But the point here is that you need to save your seeds so that you can have more of the thing that you want to grow and feed from and share and maybe sell at the marketplace, right? So if you have more seeds, you can grow more apples or more oranges or more grapefruits or more watermelons. And then if you have so many that your family has enough, then you would give some away if you have more, right? Than you need. Or if you have a lot of watermelons, then you can take them to the market and do what?
Then sell it.
Sell them. That's right.
And I have another question.
Go right ahead.
How will we not lose our seeds? Like they can get lost easily.
Yeah, so you have to actually pay attention to saving them.
So you
Because
can put them somewhere that you can put.
sure, you can carry a little plastic bag around with a little, you know, a little baggie or a little plastic bag or something, and then you just put them in there. Or if you're eating the apple at home, then you can just put them in a jar. You put them in a little glass jar. You wash the jar out, right? And then you make sure it's dry and nothing else is in there. And you just put the seeds in the jar. And you'd be surprised. Like if you eat a lot of apples in your house, you're gonna have a lot of seeds in a couple of months.
Okay.
Okay.
And it doesn't just have to be apples. Now you can grow almost anything in your backyard or in your front yard if you choose to. Or sometimes you can grow plants in your house.
Are there like apple seeds or just seeds?
Any seeds.
Okay.
All seeds are the same because they have something inside of them that is just waiting to come out and present itself, just waiting to grow. And what's inside the seed? This word that I've been trying to get you to look at, idea. Allah put an idea in the seed for what he created the seed to be. So if it's an apple seed, then Allah put the idea of becoming an apple tree. He put that idea in the seed. You can't see it when you look at the seed, but Allah put the idea inside of the seed.
So
we don't know how Allah did that.
so if you cut the seeds, you can't even see it then?
No, you won't be able to see it.
Like so tiny that you can't even see it?
Not because it's tiny, it's because what ideation is, it's invisible.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me explain it to you this way. You've heard of people having heart surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've heard of people having brain surgery.
No.
A
You never
little.
knew people can operate on the brain. If something goes wrong with the brain, they can open it up and fix it.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
But you have heard that people have heart surgery, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if the surgeon opens up that person's heart, does the surgeon see emotions come out, like feelings and stuff? They say feelings are in your heart, right?
Hmm.
You ever heard that? That you feel with your heart. People
Yeah.
say, have a heart. When somebody's not acting right or treating somebody cruel, they say, well, what, man, have a heart, right?
Yeah.
But when they do surgery and they cut your chest open and the heart is there beating, they don't see feelings like hate and love and anger. Those are feelings, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't come out of your heart because he cut it open. Same thing with the seed. Because you cut a seed open doesn't mean that you're going to see what Allah put in it. Because what Allah put in it is just like what he put in your heart that's invisible. Those emotions are invisible. Anger is invisible. Joy, pleasure, compassion, all of those feelings, you can't see them with your eyes.
Okay.
Just like what's in your brain. All of the things you're saying that are so smart and you're giving me answers and answers. If somebody had to open up the brain, they're not going to see answers. They're not going to see knowledge because knowledge is invisible. You get it now?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the seed. You cut it open, but you're not going to see, orange trees and apple trees and flowers and all of that come out of the head and grass. And you're not going to see all of that come out of the seed. You have to give the seed what the seed needs. And you mentioned it earlier. I think, Furqan, I think you mentioned some of the things that the seed needs to grow. Both of you mentioned it. So give me some of those things again. What do you need after you plant the seed in the soil? What else do you need to make that seed grow?
Space.
Okay, I like that one. Space, room to grow, right? What else?
Sun.
The sun, definitely. What else?
Water.
Shade.
Say it again. One at a
Water.
time. Go ahead. Huh?
Water.
Water.
And shade.
Shade. Okay. Maybe for some plants you need shade. Okay. What else?
Seeds.
Say it again.
Seeds.
Oh, definitely the seeds. Now, there's something very important you're missing here.
Um,
What do you need to live and grow?
farm.
No, what do you need? What does your body need for it to keep living and growing?
Healthy.
I'm going to give you a big hint. You ready?
Okay.
You have to watch me, though. Can you see my picture?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to see who's the first one to give me the answer when I do this act. Okay, here I go. Ready?
Okay. Breathing.
So what do I need?
Now.
What is breathing? What are you breathing in?
Air.
Inhale.
Air, of course. The seed needs air. Okay, so we're going to stop right there because
Okay.
that's all the seed needs in order to grow.
Okay.
It needs the sun, the heat of the sun. It needs water. It needs air. Am I missing anything?
So,
You already said soil. So it needs those four things. Soil, say it after me. Soil,
oil,
sunlight,
sunlight,
water or rain,
water or rain,
and air.
air,
Give me those four things again.
soil,
Soil, sunlight,
water, and air.
That's all the seed needs to grow.
Do we write that in our paper?
No, don't write that because I'm going to teach you on that next week.
Okay.
So don't worry about writing that down. Okay.
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 All right. Let's move forward now. Noon, the letter noon also has another meaning.
Fish.
Fish. Now, I want you to look at this carefully now. Look at the seeds. You see them?
Yeah.
You see how they're shaped?
Yeah.
Now I want you to look at the fish and how they're shaped.
They look like seeds, but
They certainly do.
Yeah, but bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So people a long time ago, they used to study nature like that. They would look around, they say, oh, this looks like that. So they would give them similar names or the same name. So the people of a long, long, long time ago, thousands of years ago, when they started naming letters, they said, well, this letter noon, it looks like a seed, but the seed also looks like fish. So they gave it the same name, Noon.
I want to tell you something.
Go right
And
ahead.
in the olden days, blue used to be very rare.
You said blue?
Yeah,
Explain.
because they couldn't find anything that blue, but they found the rock shell where there's only one drip of blue.
Gotcha.
Then
I understand. So it was rare. You're saying it's rare, and that's why it became valuable.
yeah,
Blue. That's interesting because a lot of blue stones and jewelry and stuff are very rare also. Yeah, so whatever you can't find a lot of, it usually becomes valuable when you find it. Right? Like in the desert, there's not a lot of water, right?
Yeah.
So when you find an oasis or when you find a little rivulet or something or a little water coming out of a rock, everybody's around that rock. They might start worshiping the rock because they don't get water like that. So because it's rare, everybody wants it and everybody wants to be around it and everybody wants to benefit from it. Right?
Yeah.
But
yeah,
guess what? You ready for this?
Yeah.
yeah,
The more that you guys learn NuNetics, it's going to make you rare because you can't find it everywhere. You can't go up to the average child and say, tell me something about NuNetics. They're going to say, no, no comprehendo. Me no know. Me no know. They don't know this yet. So that's going to make you guys rare. See,
Okay.
when your dad goes to the masjid and he starts teaching them NuNetics about NuNetics, they're going to say, well, where did you get? And then they're going to want to learn it because it's rare. It's not, it's not everywhere. It's just in certain places like the blue and like the diamond, and like those other precious things that you don't just find laying around everywhere. So it becomes rare and people will value it more. Okay.
okay,
All right. Can I go on?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. If you have any more questions, just stop me. But I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm saying. Okay. Don't be thinking of a question like while I'm trying to teach you something, because then you're going to miss what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
And plus, I'm going to give you time when I'm finished to ask all the questions you want. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Now I want you to look at these fig seeds. You ever hear of a fig fruit?
No.
Have you
no,
ever eaten a fig? No? Not during Ramadan? You haven't eaten a fig or a date? A date, you've never eaten a date?
I eat it.
Yeah.
Okay, so figs are somewhat like dates. They're small and they're sweet, but look at these dates. Pardon me, look at these fig seeds. These are from the fruit called the fig. You see those seeds?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now look at these fish. Now look at these seeds. Do they sort of kind of somewhat look alike?
Yeah.
See, then they look like a lot of fish swimming around in the same space, like in a school of fish in the water, in the ocean, or the lake. All right. So why am I showing you all of these pictures that kind of, sort of, somewhat look alike?
you know what?
Go ahead. Give me your answer.
To, to know that what the one means, the noon word.
Yeah. So that you know better what noon means, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And to show you how Allah teaches us.
Okay.
Allah teaches us by creating things that kind of, sort of, somewhat look alike, even though they're not the same thing, but they kind of, sort of, somewhat look alike. And then Allah wants you to start comparing so you can see what they have in common, the same, and so that you can begin to learn what they do that's different. You see, these fig seeds, they look somewhat the same as the fish in the ocean, and they look somewhat the same as the seeds in the fruit, but they do different things. These seeds do something different than what these fish do, and these fish and these seeds do something different than what the fig seeds do. So although they look alike, and although they do some things the same, like they keep growing stuff over and over again, that's what seeds do, right?
Yeah.
And fish keep reproducing, fish keep giving babies and having babies in the ocean over and over until you have millions and zillions of fish in the ocean, because they keep doing that over and over. So what all of them do that's the same is that they keep producing and reproducing and reproducing, so that there are billions and millions and zillions and quadrillions, whatever the highest number is. That's how many seeds there are on Earth. And who created that like that?
Allah.
You sure it wasn't you?
Yeah.
You sure it wasn't you that did that?
Yeah.
Did you create it like that?
No.
No.
Maybe your dad did. Did your dad create all these seeds like that?
No.
No.
What about the instructor? Did the instructor create these seeds to do that over and over again?
No.
No. Only Allah could have done it, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward. So I gave you the word ideation, and I showed you the smaller word idea in the word ideation, because ideation is simply the idea that Allah put into everything He created. He created everything with an idea. So name anything right now. Name three things. Starting with Furqan. Name three things. Any three things.
Apple, banana, and strawberry.
Good. All right. Very good. All right. Rayaan, now you. Three things
That has seeds.
that are in nature. They don't have to have seeds necessarily, but if Allah had to have created them in nature, like make sure a man didn't create it in a laboratory, that kind of thing. So tell me something in nature. It doesn't have to be a living thing. It can be the moon. It can be anything that Allah created. Name three things.
Sometimes pineapples
Okay.
and some oranges on trees.
Yeah. Give me one more thing.
Then you get milk from cows.
Oh, nice one. Nice one. Nice one. Now I want you to give me three things that are not living things. Going back to you, Furqan. Three things that don't breathe and live and eat and drink water. What other things did Allah create?
Pencil and the box and a computer.
So you're telling me that Allah created a pencil?
Oh, I thought you said the thing he did not make.
No, I'm sorry. So you heard me wrong, and then you gave me the right answers. Now I'm talking about things he did create that are not living things.
Mm,
What did people create the pencil from? What is it made out of?
Wood.
wood
Yeah. So where'd they get the wood?
from Allah.
Well, where did they have to go to get it? Allah created it, but where did we have to go get the wood before we can make a pencil?
And trees.
Yes. And trees are in nature, right?
And
Yeah.
So they were in the Fitrah. So Allah created them because they're in nature. So that's one thing. Give me two other things, even though a tree is a living thing, but I'll let you get away with that. Give me two other things that Allah created that we don't call living things. Look around. It can be in the sky. It can be anywhere.
clouds.
Did you say clouds?
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
And our planet.
Oh, the planet itself, Earth.
Yeah.
Nice answer. Nice answer. You guys are so smart. My goodness. I'll be honest with you. I didn't think you were going to be this smart. I knew you were going to be kind of smart because your dad sounded like he was kind of smart. But I didn't know you guys were going to be this smart. So who do you thank for being that smart?
Us.
Yeah.
Huh?
Us.
Well, no, who should you thank for being that smart? Who created you to be that smart? Yeah. Give me a high five. Just put your hand up next to your camera right there. Yeah, give me a high five. One more. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to wind down because you have about 15 more minutes left before I get to your dad. So let me make sure you understand what's being said.
Okay.
Now you have not started learning NuNetics yet. I'm just teaching you what the word means, okay?
Okay.
The half word. Are you telling us like the noon word or like?
Yeah, I'm still talking about the letter Nun.
Does the T-I-O-N word stand for something as well?
Yes, but we're
Okay.
not going to learn that today. But
But
your
why?
mind is fast. I like that. Your mind is thinking ahead already. But we're not going to talk about that yet.
I have another question.
Go ahead and ask.
Why the other words that have no meaning? I mean, why the other words that also have the same words like T-I-O-N and other words?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like evaluation and imagination and all those T-I-O-N words, right? You're so smart, but you're jumping ahead of me. We're not going to do that today. We're not going to talk about that today. But if you remind me next week, I will explain why those words end like that, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Is that
The average child your age wouldn't even think to ask the average adult doesn't think to ask that question. Some of them do, but most of them, they don't even think about it. So you need to just thank Allah and thank your parents for educating you well. You have a good education. I can tell.
I also learned from school.
Yes, from school also. You began with your parents, and then your parents sent you to school, and then they helped give you more and more. And then when you come home, your parents give you more and more. And then your friends sometimes can teach you things, and then you learn things on your own sometimes. So through the computer, books, maybe on YouTube, you might learn something useful, I hope. And we keep learning. Everything that we're watching and hearing and speaking and tasting and touching and smelling, everything that comes through your five senses can teach you. That's how Allah teaches you, through your five senses. The things you see, name your other four senses. That's sight. What else?
Hear,
Hearing, two.
touch,
Touching, three. Tasting,
smell.
and smell. So if you pay attention to all of those five things that Allah created, when you smell something, you think about what that is. When you see something, you don't just look at it, you evaluate it. You say, I mean, what is that trying to tell me? See, when you say something or when you taste something or, when all of your five senses are your teachers. Allah put them in you as your teachers. So you're supposed to pay attention to everything as much as you can that's coming into your five senses, because what's coming into your five senses is going to eventually become your intellect. You ever hear that word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that one next week.
Okay.
Oh boy, I have me some smart guys and smart girls in my classes. This is great. All right, so we'll talk about the word intellect next week also. I'll make a note and we'll deal with that next week. Now,
Okay.
so I'm going to ask you to hold your questions for a minute until I get to the end of what I'm saying so I don't run out of time, because you have about 10 minutes left, okay?
Okay.
And I want to make sure I get through this. So I gave you the word ideation. We're going to talk about what the last four letters mean next week, T-I-O-N.
Yeah.
But we're going to deal with the word idea. An idea is a thought. Allah designed our brains to receive thoughts, just thoughts. Every time you think about something, that's a thought going into your brain. And the more you think about that thought, the clearer
The clue.
what you're thinking about is going to get. If you keep thinking about, oh boy, we have a class with Instructor Bilal coming up on next Friday, and he said he's going to discuss the TION, and he said he's going to discuss it. And you keep thinking about it. It has to start as a thought. If you don't think about it, it won't happen. But if you think about it and it becomes a thought, then the thought is almost like Allah writing it down on a piece of paper and putting it in your brain for you to remember, right? It's like writing it down. When you have a thought that you keep thinking about, it's like writing something and just tracing over it. You ever do that? You write your name. Remember when you were learning how to write your name, or when you were learning how to write alphabets, they say, okay, draw it in script, and you put the script, and then they give you a page, and it's got dotted lines, like and you trace over those lines, and oh, I can make an A now, mommy. Oh, I can make a D now, right? Because you keep going over it and over it. Your brain does the same thing with knowledge. You
Okay.
think about something as a thought, and then you keep that thought in your mind over and over again. You know what kind of thoughts I have every day?
I don't know.
To learn.
And I want you to tell me whether you think like this too. I'm going to tell you what I do every morning when I wake up. First of all, I pray to Allah.
The best thing.
And when I pray to Allah, I ask Him for certain things. And I ask Allah to make me do some good things for other people, even if I don't know them. And I keep that thought on my mind when I get up and when I go outside. And if I see a homeless person, I want to give them some money, or sometimes we'll even make that homeless person some food. And we'll just put it, say, would you like a nice hot meal? And, oh, yes, thank you, brother. Thank you. That's a good deed. And Allah rewards good deeds like that. Or if I have $5 or sometimes $10 or sometimes $1 or sometimes 50 cents, doesn't matter. It's more than what they had. So I give that to them. And I get up in the morning with that thought that I need to help some people today.
Also, the second thing you need to do is like clean your room, and if you don't clean your room, it's like a sign that you're lazy when you don't
That's a
clean.
good point. So you need to do something for yourself first, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you need to do something for your family, for your parents, for your room.
Yeah.
Because doesn't your room look better after you clean it up? Doesn't
Yeah.
it feel better when you see your bed is made and your toys are off the floor and the desk is not cluttered and dusty? It feels good when you clean your room, right?
Yeah.
Or if you clean the bathroom and you go in there and you got that nice fresh smell. Oh, the bathroom is clean. So if somebody comes over and they need to use the restroom or something and they go in there, they don't have to go, oh, what's going on here? They can say, oh, this is a nice bathroom here, right? Because I've been in some bathrooms in some people's houses that were like, oh boy, is this the best they can do?
Also, I have an idea for the word idea.
Go right ahead, and I'm gonna make our pictures bigger now because I want to see your beautiful expressions and your smiles when you talk. Go right ahead now.
So when you do public speaking, you have to think of an idea before you speak.
Yes.
So
And
like,
those ideas are thoughts.
yeah.
And sometimes if you're a public speaker, you write those thoughts down like Instructor Bilal does. I just take little notes so I remember what I'm going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
So how do you know that about public speakers? You study public speaking?
Yeah. I have
How old are you again?
10.
You plan on being a public speaker?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. That's what I do. Give me a high five, man. Oh, just put it up right there. Tap. Yeah, man. And what about you, Furqan? What do you plan on doing?
I'm planning on teaching all the people Quran,
Same.
like all the
You do
Muslims.
Qur'an?
Yeah.
Oh, but you know what? You could be a public speaker doing that too, right?
Yeah.
That's what I do. When I do public speaking, I'm teaching about the Quran. What else am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about the best thing that Allah gave me, right?
Yeah.
That's the Quran.
Okay.
So both of you, I'm going to help you become good public speakers.
Okay.
Okay? That's if you stick with me. That's if you like me teaching you. I don't know if you like me teaching you. You know, you might hang up today and go, "Oh, I didn't like that instructor. He didn't teach me anything." I don't know. Is that what
No,
you're going to say after we hang up?
you feel like you're fun to learn.
Am I?
Yeah.
You know why I'm fun? Because I enjoy life.
Me
I
too.
appreciate the life that Allah gave me. I will never, ever be sad about anything because there's no need to be. Not with everything that Allah gave me. He gave me good people around me. He gave me good food to eat. He gave me a good wife and good family. I have 8 children,
Okay.
and my wife has 3 of her children. So together, we were 11 people coming together as a family.
13.
And I love each and every one of them. Every single one of them is brilliant.
Also, I made a new goal today.
What is that goal?
My new goal is to read one ayat every day in the Quran.
Whoa. Now make sure you choose some of the longer ones too.
Okay.
Don't just say Kul huwallahu ahad. Okay, I'm finished for today. No, right? Go for some of the longer ones, right?
Okay.
ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. Like that.
Okay.
So we're going to be learning that too. That's what NuNetics is for. It's to make you or to help you understand better what Allah is saying so that we're not just remembering ayat. See, and it's like showing off. Oh, look, I know the whole surah, but if you don't know what it means, right?
Yeah.
You don't just want to memorize it and repeat it because a parrot can repeat things, right? A parrot can say, Polly wants a cracker. Polly wants a cracker. All right. But the parrot doesn't know what it's talking about. And it's the same thing with people who just memorize the Quran. It sounds nice, but they don't know what they're talking about. The job of NuNetics is to teach you what Allah is talking about. Okay? And we're going to do that letter by letter by letter.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm going to stop there with you guys. I think you got enough for today. And you're going to see this tonight. Well, you'll probably be in bed by the time I put it on YouTube, but I'm going to send it to your dad to his email, and then he'll let you know, hey, children, we're on YouTube. The world is going to start seeing how smart you guys are. Okay?
Something. So
Sure.
if you think you'll not remember something and you write it down on a paper, mostly when you don't write it down on a paper, you mostly remember in your brain. It makes you remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the brain next week. It's interesting that you would say that, almost like you knew what my subject was going to be next week. We're going to be talking about the 3 parts of the brain.
Also,
The triune. Can you say that? Triune?
triune.
Triune. Say it. Triune.
Triune.
And try
Brain.
3.
Tri, Tri, like tricycle.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Tricycle, like
Yeah,
3 wheels, like a bicycle with 3 wheels.
that's right. 3.
That's exactly what try means.
Yeah. Bi means what? Bi.
2.
Okay. And what does uni mean? Uni.
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Tricycle means 3.
Okay.
Bicycle means 2.
1.
What does uni mean?
1.
1. Unified, united. See? 1. So listen to this. We have in our heads something that Allah created that we call a triune brain. So tri means 3, right?
Okay.
And uni means 1. So it means 3, but Allah put those 3 different kinds of things that the brain does. He put it into one brain. Tri, 3, 1. United or unit or unified brain. So you might not realize it, but each one of you have 3 brains in one sitting in your head right now. And next week, we're going to tell you what those 3 brains are. And we're going to show you how, when you know what those parts of your brain are doing, you can learn the Quran even faster and better when you begin learning what the letters mean.
Also, sometimes I think the brain can make you move.
Explain.
Like, I don't know how to explain.
Okay, well, you work on that. And when you're able to explain it, then you reintroduce that comment, and then I'll understand what you're saying.
Okay.
I like what you're saying. I just don't understand what how what you're saying behind that. Like, how does the brain make you move? I think you can explain it though. Just start thinking on it. Because that was just a thought. That was just a thought. So start thinking on that thought over and over again.
Okay.
All right. And then just write it down. When you get it, write it down. And then when we come back next week, that's what you open up with. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So our time is up, young guys.
Okay.
And I thank you so much, Rayaan and Furqan, or Furqan and Rayaan, or whichever way you want to go. You're both brilliant students. I love it. Like, boy, I can't wait. This is just our first class. You're giving me answers like this and you're learning like this. Stick with this. Don't get lazy with this, because I'm going to be challenging your brain to learn more and more and more, and challenging your brain to begin using what I'm teaching you. It won't just be sitting here like putty. What I'm teaching you, I'm going to also show you how to use it. When you're talking to people or helping yourself or helping your mom and dad or helping your siblings, if you have other siblings, I'm going to show you how NuNetics is also designed so that we can take it off of the page of the book and put it in real life around you. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
And that's how you grow, because you take the plant, you put the seed in the ground and you water it and you let the sunlight get it and the oxygen gets it. When the plant begins to grow out of the ground, you don't just leave it there, do you?
No.
What do you do with that plant?
You share with it and you save it.
Well, you take it out of the ground, don't you?
Yeah.
And you make it help something, like you feed your family or you bring it to the marketplace so other people can eat from it, right?
And you have to take care of it
Yeah. Or else what'll happen if you don't take care of it?
or die.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will become wasted. And Allah says in the Quran that He does not love the wasters. So do not be of those people who waste stuff. You shouldn't even waste knowledge. What you learn, you're supposed to be using it, helping other people with what you learn. Allah says that He does not like people who just waste stuff. These are people who take a sandwich and they bite into the sandwich. Yeah, I don't want no more of this. And they throw it at half a sandwich, they throw it in the garbage. Or the children at school during lunchtime, they having food fights, throwing apples and bananas at each other. That's
Yeah.
waste. Allah says He does not like the wasters. I don't want to be one of those people that Allah says He don't like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
He didn't say I don't like you. He said I don't like what you're doing. You see the difference?
Yeah, last year I was in third grade. That never happened, but in fourth grade, it happens a lot.
Yeah. But you're not going to be in that group, are you?
Yeah, I just said somewhere else.
Yeah, that's all. And Allah will protect you. Wherever you sit, Allah will be protecting you. And He'll be watching you and He will be watching them.
Okay.
All right. So is your dad ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell your dad to come to the camera. And thank you guys. I greet you once again. Salaam Alaykum. Okay. And Dad, I'm going to ask you for 2 minutes. Okay. And I'll be right back, inshallah.